Sorry about that, babe.
Paperboy was originally an arcade game which actually featured a pretty cool arcade cabinet setup, but for the purpose of this review, we'll be focusing solely on the NES port. On my Discord, we recently had the Test Your Bits monthly challenge of obtaining the high score in a round of Paperboy. Anyways, Paperboy was developed by Eastridge Technology and published by Mindscape, released in December of 1988 in North America for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Now, I don't know what the deal was, but I always felt like Paperboy was incredibly popular growing up. Sure, I mean, it's not like it's Mario or Zelda or Metroid or anything like that, but I feel like almost every gamer that I knew either had Paperboy in some iteration or they played it. I'm wondering if it was just mass-produced, constantly on sale, or what. I don't really know, and I could be off base here, but it just kind of felt like that. The basis of Paperboy is pretty simple. As the Paperboy, you need to travel your paper route through the, quote, jungles of suburbia, and deliver your papers to the subscribers while surviving the grind of Monday through Sunday. If you're able to complete the routes without dying and delivering all the papers, you get to retire in glory. Bits in glory, right? Anyway, if you fail, then you basically just get fired. There's a one-player mode and a two-player mode, of which doesn't seem to vary much and is of the you die and you switch type of variety, so we'll just focus on my one-player experience. On your paper route, you must deliver papers to the houses that are white or cream colored, as they are subscribers, and the houses that are red, they're not. So feel free to break their windows and basically mess everything of theirs up. Ideally, you want to deliver the papers to your subscribers in their mailbox, but you could also deliver to their front doors to keep their subscriptions going. If you fail to do so, at the end of the day, you will lose said house as a subscriber, which you will see on your daily report. Obviously, delivering papers is a means of acquiring a high amount of points. However, you can also get points, like I had mentioned, by breaking non-subscriber windows, hitting garbage cans, lamps, tombstones, and apparently bushes? I'd never actually tried to do that, so I'm not sure. Now, it sounds easy, right? Well, it's not. You have to deal with a load of obstacles and enemies trying to get you fired. Isn't that messed up? Obstacles such as kids on skateboards, construction workers, trees, fences, dogs, and even wacky stuff like breakdancers, tornadoes, and even the Grim Reaper. Yikes! I even got run over by a car. Pretty gruesome. If you manage to survive your daily route, at the end you are treated with a training course to rack up some more points and enhance your gamer skills. Basically there you just hit a bunch of targets, and depending on how quickly you go, you get more points for the time remaining as well. Luckily, if you crash on the course, it does not actually count as a loss of one of your 4 lives. The thing that sets Paperboy apart from the other games, especially of this era, is its overall quirky nature and isometric angles. This is one wacky neighborhood, and it shows. And from an era which games were mostly top-down, side-scrolling, or generally arcadian approach, think something like Donkey Kong, Paperboy definitely is different. And while I do enjoy the quirk of Paperboy and its realm, I don't necessarily enjoy the isometric nature of it all, and I'll get into that more later. Paperboy's controls could take a bit to get used to. You navigate with the D-pad, you speed up by going up, you hit the brakes by holding down or back, and you throw papers with the buttons. The getting used to it part revolves around actually being good with these controls. Can you figure out the trajectory of the papers in accordance with your angles and speed? Can you navigate those tight squeezes, or are you just going to crash and burn? Now, the more you play the game, the more you get used to it, but from a casual standpoint, the isometric angle does the controls no favors. Certain hitboxes can be very wonky, and there will be both times where you go, how the heck did I get through that? And then conversely, there will be times where you go, wow, did that really just hit me? I know that it makes Paperboy unique, but I almost feel like this game would have been better with a top-down perspective. Just my opinion. The music of Paperboy is pretty laughable. You are generally treated to bleeps and bloops and an ever-looping theme. While contagious, it does leave a lot to be desired. The only variety is coming in the form of the training course. Overall, the soundtrack just isn't very good or very long. There's barely anything to talk about. Paperboy is also pretty difficult. When you combine said isometric angles with the control learning curve, it could be a heck of a time getting through. Sure, if you just focus on surviving, that's one thing. But if you're trying to keep your subscribers and or racking up points by going all out with breaking stuff, the obstacles that Paperboy could throw your way could get to be a bit much. I've done probably close to 25 runs or so at this point, and I've actually only made it to the end of Friday once. But keep in mind, I am just trying to rack up a high score, so I'm putting myself in a little bit more danger than perhaps somebody would be on just a normal run. At the end of the day, is Paperboy fun? Is it worth playing today? I wouldn't say Paperboy is inherently bad by any means, but it's also not great. If you're a fan of arcade-style gameplay and like quirkiness in your games, then perhaps you'll love it. For me though, I'm not a huge old-school arcade guy, and the games that I do enjoy tend to be completely different. For example, I am a huge Donkey Kong fan. I also enjoy games like Gunsmoke that have a lot more free-flowing action. Paperboy just doesn't really do it for me. I don't really care for the isometric angles, the soundtrack is lacking, and the angles and controls could lead to some frustrating deaths, and I can honestly say that I got my fill after my Test Your Bits point challenge runs. To me, Paperboy is the poster child for an average game. As such, I give it a 5 out of 10. It's not bad enough to tell you to actively avoid it, but it's also not really good enough to hold your attention for long periods of time, though I guess I could understand people enjoying it because of its unique nature. If you've enjoyed my review, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing if you haven't already. I do my best to reply to all comments and all videos, and I'll see you guys in the next review. Take care.